Sean Sewell with Engearment.com, coming to you from the beautiful mountains of Colorado with Colorado's very own Venture Storm 162, handmade here in Colorado. Boom. This is a very, very nice split board. This is the 2024-2025 version. However, I've had it here in the 24 season. And also I've had a Venture Storm snowboard and split board well over a decade ago. So I've got a lot of experience with this shape, profile, and it's one of my favorites. So I can skip you a lot of time on this review. But in this review, I will go over how I have it set up, the sizing and functionality of this handmade badass split board. So let's get into it. First, we'll start with sizing. I am 6 foot, 220 pounds, size 12 on the boots. This is a 162 and the width is a 26. For me, it's a fantastic size. I ride between a 162 and 165, depending on how much surface area the board has and how wide it is. This is a really nice size for me. I can pretty much manhandle this board and it performs just the way I want it to in a lot of different conditions. So it has a unique profile in that they call it 7 out of 10 on the flex. The tail is medium stiff, the middle is a little bit stiffer, and then the nose is actually relatively soft in comparison. Again, they call it 7 out of 10. There's a little bit more flex in the nose than some other boards that I have tested and used over the years, but the combination just works. Plus the profile, what Venture's known for, is just kind of like a flat to rocker profile. You can kind of see here, what that does is, one, it tours pretty dang good. So contact points here for touring, tours very well. It's not rockered all the way, but the slight amount of rocker going into it allows for initiation in the lower angled fun stuff that I like trees and such, to be more capable and also still hold a line in bigger terrain as well as handle variable conditions. Here in Colorado, we get a weird, wild mix of snow, and depending on the day, snow changes. Like just on today's tour was bulletproof 10 a.m., 10:30 softened up in a nice way, 10:35 it was sloppy mashed potatoes. I was like, what just happened? I was like 35 minutes. It went from hard pack to, Sierra cement. It just, that's how it goes sometimes, especially in the spring, as it is right now. And this board does a really good job of handling it. So as I was first coming down my run, a lot of chop, a lot of chunks of snow and ice, because there are sledders and snowmobilers in the area. Not sledders like downhill on an inner tube, but like brap. So there's a lot of different chunks going on all over the place, and especially as I get closer to the trailhead. And it handles that really well, even though it has a softer nose, as you can see right here. But the middle being stiffer and the tail being stiffer than that, it does a great job of just kind of hitting them and just kind of absorbing it. It's awesome. There's a different kind of construction going on. I'll put a link below to the construction going on that saved a little bit of weight to make it even more resistant. Carbonium top sheet, which we've used in other brands as well, does a really good job of shedding snow. Like we just got done with the tour about 5 minutes ago, and there's nothing stuck to it, even though it's very sticky spring kind of conditions right now. Nothing really stuck to it, which is nice, especially when you go from touring to ride mode. It doesn't retain as much snow as some other top sheets, which is very nice. Hardware that comes installed, very nice. The new Spark interface right here. You don't have to do anything. There's nothing to latch. You just simply, it comes installed right there, and then simply slide the boards into place and just grabs. Should you need to adjust it down the road after much use and you might get a little bit of gapping, then you can tighten up the connection right there. The tip and tail tip is Spark as well. These are great. Boom, nice and taut connection right there. And then mounted on this board, I have next year's Spark R&D Surge bindings. We'll have a separate review on these. Really enjoy Spark, made in Bozeman, Montana. It's nice. This whole setup is made in the USA. And again, that's always nice to support local economy. Here is the shape again, kind of a rocker, but flat in the middle. The nose is kind of cut off right there, but then the nose is more prominent and pointed. The tail is a little bit cut off right there. But again, you get the hardware, the Spark, and the Spark right there. The bottom, very simple, just a Venture on the bottom, but the graphics on top are really subtle and very beautiful. Look at this amazing Rockies with the sunset, and the Storm is named after, I thought it was always named after storms because I love storm riding. It's actually named after Storm Peak down in San Juan here in Colorado, as is Venture, made in Silverton, Colorado. You can tour their facility, you can go hit Silverton and get your ass handed to you. It's a tough ass mountain. There's a lot of backcountry terrain out there. My buddy Chase, fellow Beacon Bash colleague, made this board with his colleagues over at Venture, so very appreciative for him making this, and he actually gave this to me to test out at our most recent Beacon Bash in Sante Fe, New Mexico, and I've had a chance to use it, like I said, this spring, and it has been great for all the conditions I've used it in. And now I teased you earlier with my decade plus of experience with this board, the Storm. Gosh, maybe 12 years ago, I had a Venture Storm snowboard, I believe it's a 165, and then a Venture Storm Splitboard as well. And I tested a lot of Splitboards over the last decade, but the Venture Storm was always in the rotation because it just was always consistently good. There were other boards that might be better in powder. There were other boards that might be better at like carving in crazy late spring conditions, but I could always grab the Storm and know it will perform as good as I need it to in any condition I can throw at it, whether it's middle of January powder day or at early May, higher alpine crazy terrain. It holds its own. I've done 14ers on it, that's above 14,000 feet, grays and torres. I've done a lot of fun stuff on a Storm, and I'll be honest, the profile of the Storm helped improve my confidence in terrain, as well as getting education and having mentors and doing it safely. But having the confidence on the Storm to handle all the different conditions really helped me elevate, hey, pun intended, elevate my splitboard recreation. And so because of that, it has a special place in my heart, and it brought me to tears actually when Chase brought this over and gave it to me to test out. I wasn't anticipating anything. I just was going down to the Beacon Bash to raise awareness on how to use beacons safely and raise money for the Taos Avalanche Rescue Dogs. And that was our mission. Wade and Chase and I went down there, and then we're at set up camp on Friday night, and Chase hands over this board, and we have a beer or two together and whoop it up, and it means a lot to me. And it also speaks to the culture of splitboarding. It's a small niche of us, right? And we're all out there to stay safe and have fun and share the stoke on whatever mountain range we are familiar with. So if you're a splitboarder, I hope to cross paths with you or share a skin track with you and share some beta. And hopefully this review on the Venture Storm for 24-25 is helpful, seeing how I have it set up. I'll give you a quick last gander. I ride goofy, about 23-inch stance, about 18 in the front and a 0 in the back. The setback on this, I think it's just a little bit setback, and it rides really, really well. It's not specifically a powder board. It's not specifically an anything board. It's just kind of like a do-it-all awesome board that I can't recommend enough. And again, handmade in Silverton, Colorado. Can't beat it. So a lot of other people will say similar reviews. There's a lot of great other media outlets out there that reviewed this. I recommend you check out their opinions as well, because they've tested these out in other conditions outside of Colorado. My testing over the last 10 plus years, the Storm is among the best for a lot of reasons. I'm a big fan of it, as you can tell from the discussion review. Hopefully seeing it set up and hearing my opinions and seeing all the hardware for next year is helpful. If it was, thumbs up's appreciated. You want to see more content on splitboarding gear, and we have a lot more coming up. Consider subscribing to our Engearment YouTube channel. Link right there. I'm Sean Sewell, owner and director of Stoke for Engearment. And until next time, take care.